Today is Sunday, August 26th, and you're listening to Life in General with Ron Tang. Hey, what's going on? Today I actually decided that I'm going to weigh myself. I did that this morning and I came out at 165, which is sort of what I expected. I've never mentioned this, but I actually refrain from ever putting myself on a scale. Like, I don't think I've done that in maybe 3-4 years, because most of the time I just let the mirror do the judging. And I know scales, they usually make people go crazy. People just go by the scale and that's it. For me, it's more about aesthetics. It always has been. So I typically let the mirror do the judging. Like, I'm not one of those people that just constantly put myself on a scale. There's a lot of things I don't do that I see other people doing at the gym. You know those people that come in with like a whole training log and they're just writing everything down after each set? Well, today I had 2 extra pieces of bacon. That's an extra 300 calories. That's 200 more extra sit-ups, 20 more push-ups. Like, I always find keeping a log, it's like you're not really gonna find drastic differences because there's so many different factors. Like, even if you logged all your workouts, but you're doing different activities each day, depending on, if you're playing sports and you're consuming extra calories. It's not a very practical. You should just go in, focus on your lift, improving your motions to prevent injury, how you're supposed to actually stand during each activity, stuff like that. Anyways, it's been two months now since I've started this keto journey. I plan to do 4 months of it to see where I get. And surprisingly, my weight hasn't fluctuated that much. So I know I'm doing something right because I look a lot leaner, and muscle-wise, I kind of stayed the same. I did notice that I am losing a bit of muscle mass because of the calorie deficit. I am using this sort of in a cutting phase, shedding off weight. But it'd be interesting to see after the 4 months, doing the cyclical keto to try and put the weight back on, like just purely bulking with, high fats and protein content. So it'd be interesting to see. By the way, I've been seeing more and more studies on this. Just the other day at work, somebody was telling me all of a sudden that, your lifespan's going to be shorter now because you're eating a high fat and low carbohydrate diet. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, where are you hearing this shit? She's like, yeah, I was just watching the news the other day and it was talking about how ketogenic shortens your lifespan. And well, it's more so research about low carb diets, and I guess another diet doctor out there talks about how low carb diet shortens your lifespan. To a degree, I guess it's believable, because I find it's not so much what you're cutting out, it's what you're replacing it with. If you're cutting out carbohydrates and you're eating solely like just bacon and cheese, of course, there's anything in excessive amounts is not good. But if you're still eating, the right kind of carbs, which is, extremely low on the glycemic index, it's got low carb, it's like low carb content, but still like your leafy greens is a huge part of the ketogenic diet. They're still classified as a type of carbohydrate, but it's just not those kind, like simple carbohydrates. So it's important to know what you're taking out, what you're replacing it with. Anything in excessive amounts, for them to come and say the keto's bad for you, it's going to kill you, like it's complete utter nonsense. So whatever is working for you, just keep doing that. There's just going to be another study that debunks that, and then another study that says how it's bad for you, and then there's going to be another study on top of that, because bear in mind, this is still fairly new. Not that new, but it's come to the mainstream since, I would say, 3 to 4 years ago. Now, that being said, everyone that's just talking about how all of a sudden it's going to kill you, eating less carbs will actually shorten your lifespan by 4 years. Okay, well, you got to think about it. There is no such thing as a one-size-fits-all diet, first of all, okay? There's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all any type of lifestyle. So the way I see it is this. If you're doing the ketogenic diet right now and it's actually making you sleep better and you have a lot more energy during the day, you're not actually crashing, 2 to 3 times eating carbohydrates, because carbohydrates has been proven to do a lot of other things to you, to your insulin levels, weight gain, everything else. Like, look at the cultures that are extremely heavy with carbohydrates. They tend to be on the heavier side and they're more susceptible to having diabetes. So, I don't know. Of course, there's going to be people bashing it right now. Whatever trend's going on right now, there's always going to be people that's going to debunk it or belittle it, try to, find ways to discredit it. Because I'm pretty sure, years down the road, there's going to be other studies saying, oh, you know what, fat's actually good for you. Because the funny thing is, I'm putting butter in my coffee every single morning, and people at work saying, that's going to make you fat. Funny enough, I'm the one shedding weight. So, I mean, even if, and I don't think that's the case, even if it does shorten your lifespan, and they say, up to 4 years, okay, well, you're doing the diet, a specific kind of diet that helps you shed weight, and you're building your physique body, whatever diet that is, and people are saying it shortens your lifespan. Okay, so it shortens my lifespan for 4 years. Well, 4 years of your life, but you're living in a lifestyle which makes you feel good every single day. Tons of energy. It makes you have tons of energy, less sleep, great sleep, high libido, satiated without cravings. Take off 4 years of your life compared to another 4 years in your late years, another 4 years of mediocrity. Gee, I don't weigh it out. It depends, like I said, to each their own, right? Depends what each person wants, but just constantly coming out with new articles to try to discredit, belittle it, debunk it, fuck all that. So whatever you're doing, whatever's working for you, I think you should just keep doing that regardless of these studies or that studies. Of course, you should also pay attention to what's going on, long-term studies. Speaking of long-term studies, it's unfortunate that my generation is actually the first people to find out what the long-term side effects of e-cigarettes are. And up to this day, we don't know, right? I mean, my asshole could start talking to me 20 years from now. It's like, oh shit, it's all those years of inhaling propylene glycol or whatever is in the e-cigs. So, yeah, I mean, you just gotta weigh it out. But yeah, it's unfortunate that my generation will find out the long-term effects of e-cigarettes. Because up to this day, I mean, there hasn't been extensive research. I mean, there's been a little bit. Finally they've come out with this thing called the popcorn lung if you inhale too much of it. But the study was conducted due to workers working in a factory for X amount of years, and they've inhaled what's in the e-cigarette known as propylene glycol, and there's not that many chemicals in e-cigs as opposed to just smoking real cigarettes. Because in real cigarettes there's all kinds of shit, there's fucking mercury and glass, and there's stuff you make Windex with and all that. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, just pay attention to what's going on. I would say keep up with the studies, but I wouldn't just read one and then be like, okay, this is it, this is the end all be all, and yeah, this is how I'm gonna live my life from now on. Because people like to read something on the internet and believe everything it says, or watch a video and then whatever that video displays, whatever it's titled with a little description, people just fucking eat it all up. And I think that's a huge problem with the internet, because everything I've seen that's gone viral, it's never really questioned from the other side or other perspective. I've been seeing this increasingly more and more. It's whoever has a certain agenda can make a video with their own description, and people will just fucking eat it all up and believe whatever it says. So I've seen this one video of a person in the States who would make a video of people gardening in front of their home, and it seems like It was close to the sidewalk. And then in the description, it says these certain people with this certain ethnicity is actually digging up dead corpses or rabbits, and they use it to cook. This is the person that owns this restaurant. And all of a sudden that goes viral. People are talking, ew, they're disgusting. It's their race of people. It's like, don't ever eat there. And then it's like, really? I think that person who posted that video, they should be held responsible. Like, they should be questioned, because like, this is people's reputation that you're fucking with, and this is also their livelihood. So if you're not sure and you just want to go viral for some sort of attention, you should be compensating whatever loss that is, if it is proven that that is not what they're doing. Also, I can be walking down the street, like, just completely minding my own business. Somebody sticks a phone in my face without even me knowing, from like the other side of the sidewalk, and say, oh, this is Ron Tang. Like, he just like came out of the convenience store fully having harassed the store owner and took this, put it in his pocket, and now he's like trying to get away with it and nobody's saying anything. And then all of a sudden people message me, yeah, this guy's a piece of shit, this guy's a thief, this guy's this guy's that. It's like, really? And majority of the people that post videos of their own shit anyways, it's all their friends, like, you know, their audience, 12 of their fucking friends from the peanut gallery agreeing with them, no matter how fucking stupid it is. It's just all of their friends on their friends list, you know, supporting them, boosting them. It's fucking retarded. And that I think that's a huge problem with social media and things going viral. Another one of those cases, which is allegedly, but then, you know, the person gets chastised for it. Because realistically, I can just file an HR complaint against somebody I work with now. Said that this person sexually harassed me. He may or may not have done it. You know, I can actually shoot a little video every single day, just bits and pieces of our interactions, and then just put like a compilation together to make it look like he is a sexual deviant. And he may or may not have touched me, but that's besides the point, right? Because right now, we're all just going to try to get him fired, get his kids taken away from him, get his driver's license taken away from him. Pretty much, he will be unemployed for the rest of his life because of something he may or may not have done. You know, allegedly. That's usually how it works. You know, when somebody's allegedly, but then they're on the headlines anyway, and that literally fucks with their whole livelihood. That's what people go for now. Like, it's straight to the unemployment line. You know, you're just losing jobs. Stars and celebrities and other, you know, people high up there, they're losing $1 million contracts, sponsorships. Not that I'm saying that none of them deserve it. Like, some of them do deserve it after they're convicted, yes. But however, I think that, you know, innocent until proven guilty. Like, don't even put the persons up in the headlines on the tabloids in front of, you know, the news and everything until they are actually proven guilty. Because, you know, a lot of times I find with the internet and stuff, not this kind of stuff, but the smaller stuff, is just pure slander. The slanderer has some sort of a responsibility if something happens to the other person. You know, the slandee, is that a word? The slandee? I think if that completely fucks with that person's livelihood, the person that started the original accusation or slander or whatever, that person should, you know, be compensating that victim 100%. However, with all that being said, you know, you guys are doing a great job of just getting yourselves fired with the shit you guys post. You know, did you guys see this one guy, Paul Blart? I don't know his name, but he's been posting 6 months straight of videos of himself farting at work. He's like a security guard in Florida at some unnamed hospital, and he just documented his farts. So he put together a video, I think it was straight 3 minutes long, just at work, farting with nobody around. And eventually it went viral. His boss saw it. He just got sacked this week, and he was sitting in there. He's like, shit, like, he's going in and he knows he's about to get fired because everybody at work found out. It went very popular, and then it went straight to the higher ups, and then they got rid of him for farting at work and documenting it. So, you know, you can get fired for a lot of stuff you didn't know. That was misconduct. So you guys don't need other people. You don't need to have a sexual harassment case. You can just do dumb shit yourself and now get yourself fired. A lot of people like to do that. They like to do dumb shit and then put it on file and show it to everybody. Whereas when I was growing up, all the dumb shit we did, we just kept it to ourselves. No phones, no record of anything. But then again, we didn't eat Tide Pods either. Dumb shit we did, we probably just threw like firecrackers at each other. We just shot firecrackers and blew up cherry bombs. Shit like that. Like my very first car, the old 1996 Toyota Camry, which I drove in like the mid 2000s, early 2000s. It was the scene of many crimes, that back seat. But, it was all undocumented before I cleaned it up and sold it to another immigrant family. Just dusted off my hands and, no charges, no arrests, no lawsuits. I think at one point, if you just like had an empty vacuum cleaner and just vacuum the back of my seat and then empty the vacuum cleaner, I think you can roll like 4 joints just from all the crumbs my friends left back there. It was ridiculous. By the way, I don't smoke weed. It's not my thing, never has been. All my friends do it still to this day, every single day. I probably tried it more than a half a dozen times, but it's not for me. I know the benefits of it. Everyone talks about it. They boosted it. Yeah, weed this, weed that. Yeah, I get it, but there's no such thing as a one size fits all for anything, especially with drugs. Like it's really not for everyone, and I'm one of those people. It's just like, I don't get any benefits from it other than paranoia, heart race. I've used it like just to get my appetite going or just to fall asleep. But even then it was just like a trial. It's just like, I guess I'll hit it once. But no, it's not for me. All the friends I hung out with since high school days, like today, they're still smoking pretty heavy. Now that it's going to be legalized in October, I don't know if they're still going to, just go to the store or just keep getting it from the other friends. But it was just never, every time I go over to like all my buddies' places back in my old neighborhood, like the Meadowville area, I think at this point, like none of them even smoke joints anymore. They're at a point where it's just like, nothing has changed for like 15, 20 years. These guys are just out in front of the garage, like smacking bongs because that's the only way they could get high. Like just regular joints just don't do anything for them anymore. They're at a point where it's just, they need to hit a bong. That pure THC or whatever they're doing now, the butter, the shatter, I don't know, the extract from weed, which is like more pure, it gets them more fucked up. Like I don't know. I'm not too in touch with that whole world. Not as much as I used to be, and that was only because everyone I know is either smoking a lot of it or selling it. But however, I am curious to eventually try psychedelics. I understand weed is a very mild, very, very mild form of psychedelic. But eventually I do want to try the ayahuasca rituals, that whole opening up the third eye. See, the thing with drugs is for me, I never really got into it because even at a young age, I understood that, okay, whatever you're going through, whatever you're feeling, it's either going to enhance it, whereas if you're happy, it's going to give you more of that, or if you're depressed, then it'll give you a even lower sort of feeling. For me to be doing drugs like LSD, shrooms, or any of that stuff, I have to be in a very mentally good place in order for me to do it. Otherwise, I don't know what kind of dark hole I'm setting myself into, and I'm not ready to go there. I don't want to go back there. So it's really, when I do it, it's got to be really well thought out. I have to be with, my most trusted individuals if I were to ever go into any jungle, Amazon jungle, Peruvian jungle to do it. But I am super curious to try to experiment with that stuff. And I am reading a book now. It's called How to Change Your Mind. It's about, how psychedelics came to be, how they demonized it, and now it's coming back into the light, and it's helped so many people cure things such as addiction, anxiety, and depression, and stuff like that. So it's really interesting. So eventually, but not now. I still have to do a lot more research and stuff on it. I know it could cure you. A lot of people, that have terminal cancer are on their way out. Like, this is sort of the thing they used to bring them to this place where they find death acceptable, and they understand, and they just become this person who's like ready, and they don't fear death anymore. It's some people, they say it's sort of like an NDE experience. They're experimenting with different realms and stuff, so super interesting. But yeah, other than that, like drugs, they're just not for me. It was just never appealing to me. Gambling was not appealing to me. I guess my only vice is like women. I don't know. But yeah, guys, anyways, we are out of time. Kind of rambled on this one. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. This is episode 8, and I'll talk to you guys later.